The Liminal tent has been a labor of love, 3 years in the making.
So liminal space is what exists between one moment and the next. And we think there's something very beautiful about that.
It's the snap-together all-weather glamping tent. It's all-weather because you can literally raise the roof to let the hot air out. And then, in the winter, add a stove jack to keep warm. Take it to festivals like Burning Man, rolling the walls up, and just taking in 360 degrees of nature. Total immersion. And maybe the best part, you can roll the roof back and watch the stars as you fall asleep.
You know, the key part of this tent is essentially how it's put together.
We wanted it to be able to be assembled without any tools. We needed it to feel like a permanent structure that could stay up, but it needed to be easy and quick to assemble. So all of those things together just made it a really difficult and interesting design problem.
First step was to say, let's take the pieces apart.
Wow, you really want me to do what?
For us, it was very important that this was a tent that anyone could assemble.
I have set up so many traditional wall tents. I've always needed help. I've always had to have an assistant. But with the liminal tent, I can do it by myself. And I'm a pretty independent person. So being able to throw a frame in the back of my car, set it up, and then snap on the panels that I want for the weather for that day, and having my own personal space to read and hang out in is the most exciting thing, and I can do it by myself. We are tent makers through and through. Making large canvas tents is challenging. By the time it gets to the end of the line, you may have a 300-pound canvas that you're trying to move through, and that is too much for one person.
The spark really for Liminal was to say, is that the best way to make tents?
Once I've done some development, I go talk to John about it, and he has already thought up the approach that I'm working on, and he's thought of the next 1 or 2 steps. That relationship, I think, has been key to making this happen.
You know, the fun part was that some of the concepts relative to, like, say, the sky dome, the retractable roof, you know, the airflow in raising the tent off the top of the wall. A lot of those things came through the process.
So it's a culmination of all of our ideas coming together after many years of thinking about it, testing it, trying things, failing, and finally succeeding.
Yeah, there's been at least 1 or 2 times where I sat down with my head in my hands and looked at it and said, I don't know that I'm going to be able to make this work.
Seeing the tent hanging on the frame has been an incredible accomplishment.
I feel good. Now that we have different components, we can make a wide variety of sizes, use a wide variety of fabrics, provide a lot more ventilation.
There is no limit to what sort of accessories we can put on this. We've set it up to be able to put add-ons into the frame. Like, you can do a table, I could probably build in chairs really easily. I'll work on getting a bed. I don't see why we couldn't put a bathroom and the kitchen sink in this thing.
Instead of a 4 or 5 week lead time, in theory, a custom tent could come to you in 2 or 3 days.
As a company, we have big dreams, a small team, and a lot on our plate. We would love to have a spark to ignite our resources and meet the level of our potential. So thanks, I really appreciate the time, and I look forward to hearing back from all of you that participate, and we can't wait to see you in Asheville for the launch party.